Good morning, Mr. Chinedu Michael. You are welcome to MB Media Affairs.
Good viewers.
Good day, my esteemed viewers. This is MB Media Affairs. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, and do not forget to hit the notification bell. We are discussing the issue of palliative in Nigeria today. We understand that the federal government, in collaboration with the state governments, have said they are releasing 5 billion to each state to cushion the effect of the hardship on vulnerable Nigerians. And this palliative is not coming in form of cash transfer, it is coming in form of grain, rice, maize, and even in fertilizer, in form of fertilizer. But the question is actually, the question is, the plant palliative in form of grain, will it solve the problem occasioned by fuel subsidy removal?
That's what I'm saying. That what we are just seeing about the 5 billion that's been given to states is also subsidy in another form.
But is it considered the subsidy angle in that manner? Is it considered right? Do you consider it being right?
If it is managed properly, because what at the end of the day we are still going to experience what we had during COVID-19 in Nigeria. The same people will come and tell you that everybody have gotten there. Why we have a lot of them inside forest in the warehouse, bags of rice. So that's what I'm saying, is that what is the sincerity of of purpose in the line of distribution? Are we going to see leadership in play in that regard? Nigerians have lost trust, interest in whatever the government are saying. I'm telling you, go to the street and ask questions. Nigerians have lost interest and trust. Even when they were announcing this 180 billion, a lot of Nigerians were not even interested because they know that at the end of the day, nothing good will come out of it. We want to see genuinity in that regard.
There's some who argue that this is grossly inadequate. Looking at that, if you do the simple arithmetic, the 5 billion to each state, 36 states, and Abuja put together, you are getting about 185 billion. Divided by 250 million people, each person will be getting, if it should be shared equally anyway, each person will be getting about 750 naira. That is grossly inadequate. Is this something you consider being inadequate?
It is very, very inadequate. But what is the usage of that fund? Are they going to use it to fund agriculture? Sincerely, we are putting this money into agriculture in Nigeria.
They have made it clear that they are buying rice, buying grain, and buying maize, and distributing to the poorest of the poor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That when they are buying, Nigerians have been buying rice and maize and whatever you call it. Are they going to make that money an investment policy in that regard?
I think it's a one-off thing.
That's what I'm saying, that these things are cosmetic in nature. What Nigerians on the street are asking for is just sincerity in that regard. These things are just nothing to. That's not a deep approach, to rescue Nigeria from the circumstances Nigerians have found themselves. The leadership of Nigeria has put Nigerians into. See, there's nowhere in the world that government does not assist.
So Nigeria should not be exceptional.
Nigeria own has been fraud. The federal government leadership, federal government assistance, or trying to do subsidy in rice or whatever, in water or electricity or whatever you call them.
No, they call it palliative.
That's what I'm saying. What is palliative?
to ameliorate the suffering of the people.
What is subsidy?
Subsidy is when you try to bring down the cost of a particular commodity, goods, or
Subsidy is
by
assistance.
paying some part of the
Subsidy
cost.
is assistance. That's the clear translation of subsidy is assistance. Palliative is to cushion effect of a certain policy that people have come to this to accept that it's harsh on them. When government is glorifying that this is the best way to go.
But some people have argued that Tinubu is a listing president, that not every president will want to give us such money to the
We
poor.
have seen Jonathan do it. Under Jonathan, we have seen Buhari come in.
But some people tell that the Shopee under Jonathan failed.
It has always, that's what I'm telling you, it has always failed. This thing has always failed. Me, I sincerely believe that, see, this is an opportunity for them to just share certain money to certain interest. And they come up with this palliative.
Considering the fact that Jonathan tried Shopee, it failed. Muhammad Buhari tried cash transfer to the vulnerable. We had a trade money as well under Muhammad Buhari. It failed, and we are now seeing another approach to it through grain. Is equally failing. What do you think is the right approach?
The right approach is very clear. Activate the microeconomy. Let Nigeria go 100% into production. We want to see the refineries, both modular, no matter, we want to see it working. Since Nigeria is a mono economy, we want to see our dependence or our survival depends on crude, and it's quite unfortunate.
But someone will tell you that what is happening, the palliative is an immediate intervention. That the government have said, one, we are bringing out 75 billion to give to 75 reputable companies to start production. One, and two, we are giving out 1 million and 500,000 to some small scale and medium businesses, and we are giving another 50,000 to nano business owners. Nano business owners are people who trade on the road, who perhaps have no shop. So some people tell you that your concern have been addressed by Tinubu's administration. What is your reaction?
We've seen one of the largest pharmaceutical companies who are supposed to benefit from the living. We are even hearing of we are even in the rumor now that Guinness is preparing to leave Nigeria. Though I believe it is rumor, but this is happening on the ground. There is no way this rolling out certain things will not end up in the wrong pockets, in the wrong bank account. There's no way it will not be hijacked.
That's a serious concern.
It is. It has always been there. It will be hijacked because the man that is rolling out such things is carrying injustice on his head. How do you expect justice? He cannot give out what you don't have. All the ministers he appointed are fraudsters.
Talk to us about somebody carrying injustice on his head.
Okay, I believe that you are in Nigeria.
Yes, I'm in Nigeria.
And you understand what is happening in Nigeria.
Of course.
That the billboard that was all over in Abuja was being ordered to be brought down and be destroyed, meaning there's no freedom of speech, meaning there's no freedom of association, that we are returning back to the era that Nigerians have left over the years.
Okay, that's the reason you say he's carrying injustice on his head.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, now the argument is...
There's a case.
I'm aware of the case. Okay, I'm aware of the case. But the argument is, some have argued that let us allow judiciary to make their pronouncement. They have reserved their judgment. All the parties are waiting to be notified when judgment will be delivered so that they will come back to the courtroom. But until that happens, we cannot prejudice outcome of the case. Now, do you foresee Nigerians filing out on the street to demand for more palliative in the event that this one did not get to the target audience?
You saw what happened in Adamawa. They busted government houses, busted different places, and they are carrying things by themselves. Necessity will definitely be the mother of invention. There's no two ways about it. When they keep on pushing Nigeria to a certain extent, when they will, I was having a discussion with a friend about a few days ago in regards to 180 billion palliative they are talking about. He's a Yoruba man. He told me, he had his view in that regard. How can somebody who is, you see, all of them from beginning to the end are having EFCC fraudulent cases to answer, both past and present. They are all there. And these are the people you call leaders. When Nigerians themselves know who they voted for, and look at the mess. Look at them within few months. You can see what is happening. Anybody that says that he does not know what is happening in Nigeria or pretend because of party affiliation or whatever, that means he does not mean well for Nigerians. It is time for us to understand that, see, we can't keep on, drowning with soap on our eyes when in the midst of plenty waters. That is what I'm
But
saying.
someone will tell you that this administration is just about 3 months old. That is appropriate and normal that they should be Nigerians should exercise patience, just as the government is telling Nigerians have patience with us.
What did Buhari say? And at the end of the day, 8 years went. The same patience. I'm solving this. I'm doing this. Under Buhari. You saw it. Every day he comes out and be saying, I've done this. I'm going to just give. And at the end of the day, he left.
Without solving the problem.
Without solving 1% of Nigerian problem for good 8 years. This man now came. It's unfortunate.
He's not pleading for patience.
No, he said he's going to start from. We have already seen the handwriting. His own people are against him. So if they continue to push further, and Nigerians themselves have no other thing to rely on, then we'll go to Abuja and sit down there with them. I think that's the next step to do. That's the next thing to do. Once they continue with all these things, after some time, we'll move to Abuja there and sit down with them there. They don't go out, we don't go. All of us will sit down, be looking at each other. So when we get hungry, we'll know what to do. When they are hungry too, they will know what to do.
I think your perspective is not quite too different from that of Tunde Bakare, who said he will not call Mr. President my president, but he can call him Nigerian president. He said perhaps because of the process that brought him to office.
Of course. That is also my...
So you belong to the same school of thought.
That is also... I do not want to align with Pastor Bakare. I respect him so much, and I know that from time to time he always has his views in that regard. But I do not share. That's his own. I will not want to put myself.
You don't want to join issue with him.
I am talking about Nigerians. They are elites. He's one of the elites. Pastor Bakare cannot go hungry. That's not how you will go hungry. You only stay there and say one or two things, and that's the end. I am talking about women who are in the villages, who are going to farms, who have no access to light, who have no access to road, who does not even understand what is called palliative. How do we stream down leadership to get to these women, market women, mothers who are going through a lot just to see 1,000 naira in a day?
No, Mr. Achille, if I may bring this angle to this conversation, the governor of Kaduna State have said cash transfer to the vulnerable is a fraud. He said because 75% or 70% of people, vulnerable persons in his state, do not have bank account. As such, if you do that transfer, it may go into the wrong hand. Could that may have influenced federal government taking another route of giving green instead of cash transfer?
I don't know because there's already a crisis on how the formula they are using to share those palliatives as I was talking to you. Some states are having serious reservations. There is serious logistic problem. There is agitation that some states have been how will I put it? Are not getting what they are supposed to get. You know, there's already crisis over that money as I'm talking to you now. You understand? So yeah, and most of the things, most of Nigerian system, Nigerians are not well documented.
On this note, do you now sympathize with federal government, considering the fact that they are trying to making frantic effort to see that they solve problem of the poor, and it look as if the middlemen, the governors, the people who handle it are the ones who usually divert it? Do you not sympathize with federal government?
Federal government is number one victim. Federal government is if there's anything that should go wrong in Nigeria, and that has been going wrong in Nigeria, federal government is responsible for that. If there is fraud in Nigeria, if there's insecurity in Nigeria, if Nigerians are dying of hunger, the federal government is responsible for that because they are the leadership. State governors have certain responsibility, but when it comes to decision or how a nation should be or how a nation should be run, it is the federal government that we know.
Is it because the constitution puts it on their shoulder to say that the welfare of Nigerians and their security shall be the primary purpose of governance? I'm talking about Section 14 of 1999 Constitution as amended. But that is by the way. Now, in rounding of this program, what is your advice to the vulnerable? We understand that by going by the National Bureau of Statistics report, that 133 million Nigerians are extra multidimensionally poor. And the areas of poverty, they talk about lack of access to education, lack of access to healthcare, unemployment, and all that. So those people that live below poverty line, what is your advice to them?
Well, the problem is very, very hard to solve because that's the truth. Because Nigeria have no proper documentation.
There is data.
Sorry. If Nigeria have a proper data, there's no how we will not be able to assess the poorest person.
There's a national register
in the
that this government jettisons.
Go to the closest government to the people, which is the local government. Don't find a way and visit any of these local government. You will notice that there is no local government administration.
That's serious.
Then how would people get to know that something is going on, or they need to be documented, or the government need to have their data for a matter like this? It's not local government administration. It's just they just come there one day in the office and sit down from morning till night and go home. I am telling you that Nigeria is a dead nation. Dead nation. They are just be everything about them is on the surface. All these things they are doing is on the surface. Unless they sit down and restructure Nigeria. And the type of restructuring we are talking about is going to be either regional restructuring with states or outright restructuring. That is the way forward. These guys are not serious. When they are serious, they will know what to do. Because if they fail to restructure Nigeria, there's no how the government will have direct access to the person that has no data base has no education, has no health care. The local government administration, government is just there, just answering. Not all the personnel there, they don't do anything. They come to the office, they sit down there. Even when you come with one situation or the other, one problem or the other, there seems to be, corruption too in that local government. They want to collect money from you. So see, see, that's why I respect Americans. No, that is just the truth. They have all data of all. If you like, be inside forest, they know you are there, and whatever the government are doing, they make sure you are part of it. If you are not, they will look for you.
That everybody must be accommodated.
There's no foundation for that. And for the fact there's no foundation for that, that is why people like us are calling for proper restructuring. And that restructuring we are talking about is regional restructuring with states, or outright restructuring where states will be abolished.
I think that will be subject of discussion another day, because it's a different, it's a whole lot of conversation if we go into restructuring. Because in Nigeria, restructuring,
we are talking about
different
genuine solution.
It means different to different people.
Yeah, look, how would you mean?
There's some people who see it as devolution of power. Some people see it as resource control. Some people see it as regional governments. So it depends on. We understand currently that about 68 items are on the exclusive legislative list, meaning state houses of assembly cannot legislate on it. It's an exclusive reserve of National Assembly. Some people see restructuring as removing some of those things on that exclusive list to concurrent list, where both the National Assembly and state houses of assembly can legislate on it. There are some people who see restructuring as resource control. Control what you have in your region, in your state, pay tax to the federal government. Which angle do you come from?
Okay, let me tell you that God is a God of all flesh.
And
look at what is happening in Niger. Niger has what it takes to be another giant of Africa with their resources. That is by the way. There's no segment in this country that is not blessed, that does not have what it takes to survive. So the agitation of I do not know what is called restructuring, without knowing that inside restructuring there is type of restructuring. It's not a matter of resource control. We are still going to have this system they call federal government and other thing. But we want a situation where people will have direct access of what survival, direct access of advancement, direct access of information, direct access of innovation, direct access of development, direct access of infrastructure.
You are pointing towards a resource control. Is this something you want to affirm?
That's what I'm saying is this. How would you call something like this? I said, when you say regional with states, the type of restructuring I am propagating is in two kinds. One, regional with states, or region, no states. But let me tell you why one is better than the other. If you have a region like the eastern Nigeria, it's a region. I have maybe possibly a prime minister to oversee, and then whatever comes at the end of the day, they will show the federal government and take it to the federal government. But that's the prime minister of that region, so to say. That those regions now, every state, like what is happening in America, every state will now go inside and restructure themselves to accommodate their own people. Either with every local government will have a farm, a very mighty farmland that will take care of their agriculture, their whatever. Every state will work according to its potentials.
But in terms of government structure, are you envisaging and advocating different type of government structure for different region, or a uniform system of government in across board?
I'm not advocating that. What I'm advocating for is I'm not advocating the if you say a uniform government across the federation, we are still going to return us to the same system. We are talking about a uniform system for every region and state and local government.
No, the point I was trying to make is this: if in a region you already have the prime minister, maybe you have local government level and state level, is that same system going to be applicable to the other region, or the other regions should choose how they do their own? Maybe they abolish state level and do only local government level.
I've already said it. Let every region, every state, every local government operate according to its own strength. Do you understand what I'm saying? If a particular local government is good in agriculture, there's no need of talking about crude oil there.
No, I was talking about government structure, not resources management.
No. You need to understand the kind of thing I'm trying to say. If government structure is going to come down, we are still going to go back to government. Go back to where we are. We don't want to see how we can. We are looking at solutions where things are not working in Nigeria. Lights are not there. The roads are not being repaired. Workers are not being paid. We have seen students go on strike up and down. No sector is working in Nigeria for over 60 years. And you think it's normal? It's not a normal thing. It's because these guys are benefiting from the crude oil wealth, money, and they keep on sharing it with come up with one policy. And okay, can you imagine the Senate buying 120 or 30 billion worth of vehicles?
Some people tell you that the government approved it. It is legal.
No, what I'm saying is that every year they keep on, every now and then they keep on budgeting these things. Look at the money they share. This is for holiday.
This is enjoyment allowance.
But if it is in a system that everybody develops according to your own strength, people will have access to information. People will have access to governance. People will have access to leadership. People will have access to development. People will be able to question a certain interest when it goes out of hand, because it will be seen to be their own thing. If it's agriculture is the strength of this local government, the federal government has no business coming there and be saying, no, this is what we want to do to survive. We're going to grow and build skyscrapers from this.
I think this is a good place to let it go, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chinedu. Once again, if you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you very much.